This is Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor. You're listening to Gallifrey Public Radio. Go and throw yourself under a bus. I didn't mean to say that. He told me to say that.
This is Gallifrey Public Radio, dedicated to positive enjoyment of Doctor Who. We travel through classic and new episodes, explore the extended universe, and play a few games from time to time. We do discuss news, content that has been officially released, and the occasional interesting rumor, but we'll warn you before anything considered spoilers comes up.
Welcome to episode 528 of Gallifrey Public Radio. I'm Julie.
And I'm Kier. And today we are packing luggage, packing audio gear, and a big old honking game board and hitting the Long Island Expressway at rush hour. Because it's always rush hour in the LIE. Because we are bound for LI Who in Holtzville, New York.
For 10 years now, people have been gathering in some part of Long Island for the convention called LI Who.
Yeah. Long Island Doctor Who has been a staple of the Northeast United States as far as Whovian conventions. It's swelled, sort of waxed and waned in size. At one point, it got really kind of big and unwieldy. And I think Ken Deep and a lot of the powers that be said, no, we're going to keep this a little more intimate. And they've changed venues a few times, but it's always been a solid weekend. It has not, however, always been in August.
Yeah, this will be the second time in August. So dates are from the 23rd through the 25th of August this year.
Yeah, coming up very soon as we're recording here. In fact, we weren't really kidding. We are going to be packing very soon because we're going to be busy. There's a lot of things to see and do, even aside from what we have on the schedule ourselves. A lot of talent to check out.
Indeed. I think one of the most exciting things everyone always looks forward to at conventions is your screen stars. So we'll just kind of run through the list real quick. Colin Baker, Nicola Bryant, Mark Strickson, Fraser Hines, Terry Malloy, Annette Badland, Yi So, Daphne Ashbrook, Jacqueline King, Colin Spall, and Jonathan Watson.
Yeah. So some returning guests, some real staples there. If you didn't have Fraser, I think the whole thing would actually kind of fall apart. But
he is the glue.
It's something sticky. And Terry has been there quite often as well. I haven't seen Yiji there in years. I know we did this a number of years ago, and we had pretty much the entire 96 film cast together for that one, short of, I think at the time we didn't have Eric there. Eric Roberts wasn't there that weekend. But on the good side of the coin, as far as all of our heroes and protagonists, the full cast was represented. But so it'd be great to see Yiji back. Hopefully he'll play some music as well. Had his guitar with him last time. He's always a lot of fun. And Daphne's a blast. Jacqueline King. I'm psyched about that.
Definitely very excited. I think that'll be a really interesting conversation to listen to. And another one, I think they're doing a Ted Lasso photo op with Annette, and I kind of feel like someone's got to do that.
We were talking before we started recording that I think I might have to pull a little cosplay myself and get a little Coach beard going on there. So to see if I could find some good soccer strategy books that I can read. But we also will have a number of writers represented there, including John Peel, who's a New York native, so it's great to have him there, and Nev Fountain coming along with Nicola Bryant as spouses. That'll be great to see the two of them there together.
Yep. On the musical and artist side of things, we've got Dominic Glynn and Blair Shedd, respectively.
So, good to have some comic representation there, too. And even some producer-director sides of things as well, both for screened Doctor Who in the form of Keith Barnfather, but also from the Big Finish side of things in Jason Haig-Ellery, who's always thoroughly entertaining and just a wealth of Whovian knowledge to talk to.
Yeah, and along with some of those things, if you've never been, you can look forward to music, games, cosplay, episode watches, commentaries. The vendor room is always fantastic. We have some great friends in there. Photo opportunities, as we mentioned. I hear say there's going to be some tabletop gaming this year, live discussions, and of course the QA panels that you attend and listen in on to hear from some of the guests.
Yeah. I wish we weren't going to be quite as busy as we are, because if I had the forethought, I would have wanted to run one of the Doctors and Daleks one-shots. I think that could have been a load of fun to load up some, prefab character sheets and let people have fun with. Since it's not too far removed from 5th edition D&D, so that enough people will understand the basic mechanics enough to be able to have a lot of fun with a game like that. Maybe someone's going to do it. If you're listening and you're going to do it, please let me know as soon as you can so that I can rearrange my schedule. Because I will play, and so will Joe.
Yeah, and if not, then we have 1 year to get ready for next year and to have that ready to go.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with the conventions that we do and we try to represent the podcast at some of these cons, if you know that there's one that we're all kind of spiraling around and you want to see something like that happen, let us know in advance. And when we're trying to work with the showrunners and programming directors, we'll throw that into the mix if we know that there's folks that want to get involved. It's totally worth it.
Yeah. For sure. So, Kier, where can people find you if they're going to be attending the con?
Well, I know there is one panel. I'm not going to do these in chronological order, I don't think, because I think we've got a little bit of crossover. So if we want to talk about the stuff that we're going to be off and doing our own thing, and then where our paths meet occasionally, sometimes with a child in tow, or sometimes I don't know where the child's going to be.
We have people for that.
Yeah, we got people. We'll give them to our retinue. I'm looking forward to the fact that, as we were talking about composers, I had an idea for a panel a while ago that involved discussing the days that will follow Murray Gold. So the idea of what happens to the soundscape of this show now that we've had not one, but 2 turns around the jukebox with Murray's signature sound. So while I thought that was going to be an interesting conversation to begin with, I'm extremely fortunate that Billy, who handles a lot of the programming for the convention, has allowed me to have that discussion with 80s Who composer Dominic Glynn. So I am thoroughly looking forward to that one. Not stressful at all.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. I think you'll do a great job. One that I'm very excited that I'll be talking through is called Alternate Lives with the TARDIS. So that'll be Saturday, 1 p.m. Program C, pending any other changes officially, just to figure that one out. But we'll basically be talking through what happens when companions or the Doctor lives out their whole life potentially, and then there's a change to that. It's erased or rewritten. How do we as viewers deal with that versus how do they deal with it in the show, that kind of thing. So very excited for that one. Be joined up on the stage or at the table, depending on, I don't remember which room's which, but Heather McHale, Catherine Sullivan, and Brendan Smaller.
Yeah, fantastic folks for that conversation, and a really cool topic, because it's not just, as you said, it's not just what we as the audience feel about that negation or rolling back, or even in some cases retconning of that whole experience, but does it have any lasting impact on the character it happened to, or are there other characters who know that has happened to them, and how do they handle it? So really cool dynamic all around.
And that I think it touches on a lot of different episodes. So very excited to get to do my homework, which I have started for sure, and spend some time talking through quite a few episodes, actually.
Yeah, extremely prescient with that 73 yards being quite a tour around that particular subject too. Yeah. We then join forces, and with these powers combined, we'll have a couple other.
Listener, I high-fived over the phone
That's yes. I did. I thought you were just trying to smack me through the cameras.
Nope. With our powers combined, I was.
Okay.
You
exactly.
Yep. You set it up and then smacked it right back down.
I
That's great.
I knocked it to the ground. I don't understand how volleyball works. We have a collaborative effort on a panel that is actually a dovetailing of two panel ideas that, when they hit the programming grid, seem to work really, really well together to sort of make it a supergroup of a conversation. We, as far as GPR, have had discussions both on the cast and at various convention tables about the idea of raising Whovian families, or what a Whovian based, or not even necessarily thematic, but sort of imbued household dynamic tends to be like, what sort of a moral establishment that place is, and kind of how that works to be a connective thread among family members. Well, as great as that topic has been, and it's worked really well for us because it's always a fascinating conversation with whoever we're talking with, at the same time, Drew and Sebastian Walco, who you probably recognize from around the podcast circuit as well, had an idea for the idea of passing down a fandom, and the idea of instilling a love of the program and everything that it represents from generation to generation downward. So I guess I feel like sort of two different directions. It's either, with us, it's a sort of a spreading wide and bringing everybody in the dynamic, whether it's a nuclear family or extended, and sort of bringing that in. And with what Drew's original idea was sort of top down, right? Working down the generational scale. I guess you could work upwards as well. Get your grandparents involved.
For sure. And I think a lot of that is fun also growing with it in the family. So yeah, we'll see how that conversation goes. And then finally, we're very excited to bring the Family Hood game show to everyone after we spend the weekend we're going to do this.
We are. If we don't.
We will be polling at least 100 LI Who attendees. So if you are in attendance, please come find us, answer our questions, and we'll get, we have a range of Doctor Who questions, trivia to put together, and then we'll be hosting a game show for everyone to enjoy, and comes straight from your hive mind.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to supply us. We've done this on the cast once before. We have to go back about 150 episodes for this, but it was a ton of fun when we did it. And we've done a number of game shows with the conventions. We have never actually done this one live. So this is not only going to be a test of whether or not the format holds, but whether or not the technology holds. As I try to run this entire thing from a laptop, we'll see how it does. But it's the exact premise that we poll for the survey, we get the score out of 100 of all the top answers, and our two teams will attempt to predict what the most likely answers given were to some of these sometimes basic, sometimes a little bit more opinionated Doctor Who based questions. Sometimes trivia, sometimes it's really just how you feel about stuff. And the teams themselves are going to be a load of fun because we've loaded the deck.
Yep. So you'll have to check out that for sure. Join us. We'd love to see you there, and pass or fail. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. You'll have, we're working on trying to actually increase the celebrity representation that'll be on our teams. Right now, we already have signed, and it's signed. They didn't sign anything. They just answered an email and said, yeah, sure. But as we mentioned, John Peel, our famed Doctor Who novelist, will be up there joining us. Nev Fountain, another writer with phenomenal talent under his belt, will be up there trying to figure out what you all had in mind. And none other than Jason Haig-Ellery will be up there trying to maintain composure as we throw 50 some odd minutes of stupidity at him and see if he just stays as unflappable as he always seems to be. So, in turn, Julie, what would you say is I won't say biggest expectation, because you kind of look forward to the whole thing in total, but what is the number one box that needs to get ticked as you're on your way to LI Who for another family convention outing?
the annual visit with our Li Who family and just getting back together with the community. I know that there are always great panels, discussions in and around all of the topics that we love, but just getting to see everyone again and really spend that time in a focused environment is mostly what I look forward to.
That's absolutely valid. I don't want to ride on those coattails quite too much, but I'll say that one of the things that I think I'm really looking forward to is seeing how not only those who are a part of the programming itself, whether they're involved in any way in the panels or the talents, the handlers, anything like that, the vendors, but there are just attendees who go the extra mile to not only make their experience enjoyable, but try to spread a little bit of that to everyone else. If you remember the conversation we had about last year's event, there was a family that just for the love of it were putting together little circuit board toys, a little Dalek interactive game that I couldn't follow. I didn't understand a thing about it, and I had it explained to me by at least a half a dozen different people of varying ages. But our 6-year-old at the time understood it implicitly and still plays with the thing.
Our 7-year-old to this day still does indeed play with that, and I am sure we will be bringing our Dalek back, and maybe there will be either the same or something new, because that was wonderful and such an inclusive game and event. Just
indicative of the amount of energy and the labor of love that goes into this thing, whether you're involved proper with the programming or not. It's a great, intimate family con. So hopefully we will see you all there, or as many of you as can possibly fit through the door at the Holiday Inn Long Island in Holtzville.
Sounds great. We'll have our ribbons to give away, so definitely come find us. We'd love to say hello, have you answer questions for our game show, and we'll see you there.
Until that time, because we will be doing a sort of a recap on the other side of it for sure. Until that point, this has been episode 528 of Gallifrey Public Radio. So until that next time, this is Kier saying, all right, I know you explained it before, but just give it to me one more time. I push these 2 buttons, and then I hold it next to yours, and you push your 2 buttons, and they become friends?
And this is Julie saying, I am definitely looking forward to that vegan pizza place. And we're going to have some takeaway orders, so also find us for a recommendation for that.
All right, until then, allons-y.
Tag, you're it.
Thanks for listening to Gallifrey Public Radio. As a fan-run podcast, your thoughts and opinions are part of the conversation. Leave us a comment or review on your preferred podcast app, find us on social media to message us, or visit GallifreyPublicRadio.com for email and voicemail contacts. We'll see you out there in time and space.
Hi, this is Jacob. This recording of Gallifrey Public Radio is copyrighted in 2024. GPR is a fan-owned, fan-produced podcast. We'll see you next time!